Okay. So, we're going to go over some of the ACE medical changes. First part that we're going to go over is just some of the basic UI changes. So obviously you can still open the medical menu as always, but some stuff in that has changed. Okay? So if for instance beforehand when a body part was injured, you could tell how severe the injury was based on the colour. The colour now is light yellow to dark red, but it doesn't indicate how severe the injury is. It indicates how bad the blood loss is. Light yellow, he's losing hardly any blood. All the way up to dark red, he's losing a shit ton. He is like a sieve. It is pouring out of him. Okay, that all clear?
Yeah.
The way he said it, it really is no joke. If you could breach a building while getting shot at and then finish breaching the building before patching yourself, it's not gonna work anymore. It just doesn't.
Yeah.
Okay.
Even if
You're
you
gonna
get
pass out before.
even if you get just a tiny little flesh wound or cut on your arm, chuck a tourniquet on that straight away. The amount of blood you have in your body really matters now. Okay?
Alright.
Bandaged wounds is pretty much just the same as it was. It's going to be blue. And it's going to stay blue until you get stitched. But when you do get stitched now in the UI, it is going to stay blue. It doesn't go back to being white. But it'll say in the overview in brackets S to indicate it's been stitched.
What if if you bleed again on something that's stitched?
You don't.
Is it-
Open again.
It's not gonna happen.
It
if
just
it's stitched,
resets
it's not
again.
gonna
If it's stitched, it's not gonna reopen.
Yeah,
If you get
even
injured
if you
again,
shoot it.
if you get injured again, then it'll just go back to how it was at the start. You'll have
Either,
a colour,
either,
and
either
then
it will,
you go through the
either it
process
will
again.
either it will add another wound below the one you have already stitched or something like that. You know, in the list, it will add either another one or the one you have will be removed, replaced by an open one.
So theoretically, you might get a list of 100 small.
I hope not, but maybe.
No, but theoretically.
Yeah, the entire
Incendiaries
history
do
of your
that.
wounds and medical treatment is going to stay on your medical menu throughout the mission.
Cool.
The only time it won't is probably when you get respawned. If you get respawned. This will probably help the medics quite a lot as well, because if they open the medical menu of someone and see, oh, he's had a shit ton of shit happen, he'll probably check your heart rate and blood pressure first. So he can then prioritize treating you. The other change in the UI is when you get shot now and you break a bone, you obviously have the limping stuff, but you're going to see a big bright red bone in your leg or your arms to indicate it's broken. Splints are not just a one splint fixes all, they are individual now. You've broken both your legs and both your arms, you're going to need 4 splints to fix that.
Wait, they were individual before?
No, there were two. If you break both legs, you had to apply one splint, and both were fixed.
Ah,
You could only
okay, I
fix
didn't know
legs
that.
with an option. You could only fix arms with an option, which would fix both arms and both legs. But
Yeah.
now you need, which will be, so best case you would use 2 splints to fix all of your 4 bones. But now that's not the case anymore. So you need 4 splints for 4 bones.
Yeah, and you only carry 1 still with you.
Yep.
The only change we've made to the basic loadout is you now have 2 tourniquets.
How about with splints? A medical, if he splints, it's okay. If you do it yourself, there's still a chance
That
it
doesn't
falls
matter
off.
anymore.
Ah,
There,
okay,
there
yeah.
is no chance in it falling off.
So
Beforehand,
everyone can splint. Okay.
yeah.
Yep.
Beforehand, that was in a separate mod from ACE altogether. Now it's actually part of ACE, and they haven't added that option.
Well, sounds better to me. I mean, every grunt knows how to splint, at least.
Get a stapler on that.
So that's the biggest kind of UI general changes so far. The next part in actually treating yourself, it is mostly the same, except even I've been guilty of this in the past, we've already said it before. If you're bleeding, even if it's just on one limb, tourniquet yourself straight away. I have been so guilty in the past of just bandaging and not bothering with the tourniquet. The amount of blood you have now really matters. So go through the proper thing of tourniquet in your limb, then bandaging it, and so on and so on. When it comes to injecting morphine into yourself, we're still kind of playing around with the whole check heart rate thing to see what the best approach to that is. But if the pain isn't too bad, I would say in the meantime, just put up with it. I'll wait until it goes away itself.
I would highly suggest to only inject morphine after being checked up by a medic.
Yeah.
Because
Okay, copy.
if you don't, first of all, the impact of morphine and epi, we know it. We all know it, or should know it. Especially medics do know that epinephrine and morphine also inflict certain changes in numbers of blood pressure, not just heart rate, which is it mainly for, but also blood pressure. Now, morphine does a shit ton to low blood pressure. So if you have a normal blood pressure and you inject morphine, it will drop down significantly. Means that if you already have low levels of blood and you want to inject the fucking morphine, you're most likely gonna go pass out. So it's gonna be like drops down by about 30 figures. That's a lot.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it's a lot more realistic. We are
Yep.
expecting that people will go down a lot less unconscious though. So far.
Now, you know how it was before the update when a stray bullet hits you somewhere,
You're
even if
dead.
it's just you know,
Yeah, you get
if
knocked
it
out.
touches your arm, you might go down and be unconscious without a heart rate. This is not gonna be the case anymore. I think with body armor plates, it will take certain amount of bullets to actually penetrate the body armor plate itself. So if you shoot
Yes.
someone 6 times in the chest, chances are that 2 or 3 bullets might actually get through.
Oh, we
Inflicting
tested with
inflicting
Yeah,
minor
we
wounds.
tested that.
yeah,
But-
okay.
Yeah, for people who haven't
Took like
seen
half a
that,
mag.
there's an AI for men to shoot at.
Yeah,
you'll shoot
sometimes
at
it takes
in
half
the
a mag
leg.
depending on the ammo you use.
Yes.
You know, I was just in the PV loadout and I took like fucking six, 7 rounds to the chest.
So
Yeah, but
as
if Min shoots that AI in the leg, you'll see what.
Check your goddamn phone.
Forgot to turn. You didn't turn AI off, did you?
he's unconscious.
Yeah.
You have angered the AI.
He might have just been a bit too close, although I'll put him a bit further.
Oh, you
I have a
mean-
pistol.
He's past Wisdom, so yeah, if you shoot him in the leg, you'll see that he takes quite a few injuries before he
And-
actually goes unconscious.
Oh, stop torturing him.
Well,
That's 4 shots to the legs until he went
Yes.
unconscious. He's not dead, but he's gonna bleed out fast now. Get back here again.
How many
stop
there?
hitting it,
Come
it's
on.
already dead.
Yep.
What?
Yellow legs.
Okay,
and,
as it takes
red
much
bones.
more to go down when you go down, it takes much more to go down. When you go down, you're pretty much fucked. If a medic sees a guy or approaches a guy, basically if you approach a guy that is unconscious in front of you, immediately call a second one to help you. Because you need to do multiple things at the same time now, it really matters. First of all, you need to make sure he doesn't lose too much blood anymore, so tourniquet as much as you fucking can. And immediately start bandaging. Now, at the same time, the second guy you have with you, hopefully at all times, will have to immediately perform CPR if he doesn't have a heart rate. Means that whoever isn't tourniqueting or bandaging, check heart rate. If he has none, fucking CPR immediately. Right? And you only stop when the medic tells you to stop CPR. You don't stop, even though it might show up he has a heart rate again. You don't stop. Because as soon as you stop, he might lose it again. Because his blood level is so low. Now,
So-
as you see, it's blood again. That has a high impact on him. He probably won't wake up as fast as they woke up beforehand. You know, 1 defib, he's fucking back alive. That's not going to be the case. It takes much longer to first of all, it takes a bit too long currently for the blood to get into the body. But it takes much longer with stable vitals to get back up again after you've been down. So even if you have a heart rate, maybe a stable heart rate, if your blood level is not high enough, you will not wake up until the blood level is high enough. Now the way you can screw that up is if you inject morphine before he's actually awake. Because morphine lowers blood level even more. Or at least the numbers. And while the numbers are low, he won't wake up. So you can just, extend that period into the Neverland. So before you give morphine, do everything else. You probably won't even need one after that.
Yeah, but the golden rule for Rifleman, beforehand, it was just CPR until the medic turns up. You keep CPRing until the medic tells you to stop. you're helping the medic now.
Yeah, and if someone is unconscious, work together on one guy. So 2 people work on that guy. One guy will be really stressed out if he has to monitor heart rate, blood pressure, while performing CPR and plugging all the fucking holes he has.
Okay, so the medic is now a little less important when you get shot, but you're still up.
Mm,
And when somebody goes down, the medic is more important than before. Correct?
You kinda well, it's not that severe when you get shot as a rifleman that you need to immediately go to the medic and whatsoever. Or that you absolutely need a medic because you just fucking passed out. It won't be the case, or at least not that fast. Of course, if you get headshot, you will pass out. Immediately. The first bullet that hits your face, you're gonna be down.
What about bandages the rifleman puts on himself? Do they still have a
I don't.
chance to...
Yeah, there's still a fall off chance.
Okay.
So-
Higher, lower, normal?
Approximately the same. I don't think they changed that.
Okay.
I would say, if you have time to then see a medic, do see a medic if you have, if you have time to breathe and stuff like that. See a medic to stitch you up. But the occasions, not so rare occasions that we had when a fire team just got, one guy got the bullet in his arm and he was fucking down, and the medic had to run over and all that stuff. It's not gonna be that bad.
Okay, yeah.
This is more of a general thing before this medical rewrite happened as well. See if you actually need treatment from a medic, but you're stable and you can still actually fire your gun. Please don't crowd around the medic like this. Stitch me, stitch me, stitch me. Please cover a sector. Yeah, please cover a sector. If your FTL hasn't assigned one, then look around and use your common sense. Find an area someone's not pointing their gun.
Yeah, if the medic is done, he'll say, and the next one can come over.
Yeah.
It's simple.
Now,
If
Go
there
on.
isn't a medic nearby as well, just tell your FTL, and your FTL will tell the medic that you need someone to come and treat you. But as long as you're still combat capable, you might not be mobile, but you can still point your gun in a direction.
I think that's as far as we go for the basic rifleman knowledge that you have to know about about medical stuff. Now for the medics, there's some sort of changes, not just in loadouts. You carry more blood than before, carry more drugs than before. In addition to
Nice.
different type of drug, we're giving you adenosine,
Mhm.
which in fact does just lower the heart rate without curing pain, but on a more controlled level than morphine lowers heart rate.
Yeah, adenosine should stay in the patient's body half the amount of time morphine does as well.
Exactly.
Okay.
That means there's 3 different occasions how someone can go unconscious or into cardiac arrest. When someone is down, it looks like unconscious, and you check his heart rate and it says either high, or you see a number that's 100 and whatever. It's an indicator that his heart rate is about to fucking take off and go into Neverland. If the heart rate is too high, he will approach cardiac arrest pretty short. So this is the time you can lower the heart rate to prevent him from even going into cardiac arrest, right? Which makes your treatment a bit easier.
So like shock,
Exactly.
right? Yeah.
Basically, check heart rate. If it's too high, let's say 120 or above. At 120, I would leave it and monitor. If it goes up, you'd give him adenosine. If it stays at 120, leave it for now. But continuously check heart rate and keep checking blood pressure. Right?
Yep.
While there's some scrubs around you, probably bandaging his, limbs and stuff like that. Right? So, then there's the other part where the guy does not have a heart rate. When he does not have a heart rate, every little second counts. Immediately perform CPR. Check his vitals. If he has low blood, give him blood immediately. And keep performing CPR until his blood level raises to a normal level, and he will get his heart rate back. Now, just because he has his heart rate back doesn't mean he won't lose it if he stops doing CPR. So you can at that point give him an epi if you need to, do other stuff at the same time, you'll risk losing heart rate. It's more of a thing to figure out what to do next. It's less of a step-by-step guide. It's more of a, if that occurs, I need to do this. Okay?
Okay.
So every one of you has a medical certificate. Use your common sense. If his heart rate is too high, fucking drop it. If his heart rate is too low, fucking raise it. If his blood pressure is too low, fucking raise it. Right?
Yep.
Don't worry about the other things around, like a splint. Fuck that. Don't give him morphine. Just don't. Unless he wakes up. If he wakes up and he's still in pain, give him morphine and check his heart rate again. But while doing treatment with saline and fucking, I don't know, adenosine and stuff like that, do not give him morphine. You will fake your numbers and you will not know what his actual status will be. Right?
Okay.
Roger.
Sounds more realistic, yeah.
It's gonna be a bit tricky in the very beginning, I think, but also the old medical system was tricky in the beginning. It's getting used to. We're still figuring out, or we're still testing out. There might be changes due to saline flow rate, most likely. I think saline at the moment, the fact that we need so much, it's a bit slow going into the body. We might change that for next weekend. It's what's the multiplier now? 1.0. We might raise that to 1.5 or something. Depends on how it turns out today and stuff.
Yeah. All of the settings that we've applied right now are open to change. Nothing's set in stone right now.
So for today, get shot a lot so the medic can test it.
I can do that.
Good enough. Yes.
I mean, it will definitely help the medic's practice, and he will know if he's competent or not. But for
Hey,
the fun,
guys.
the fun of it, don't.
That's a bad
Keep
point in
standing,
time to
no
find
cover,
out.
just rush it.
All the moves, gentlemen.
Chances are you will actually get through this time. Medics, if you approach a guy that is on the ground, call for help. Just fucking do it. Take the
Alright.
guy that's closest to you and tell him what to do.
Yeah,
And
yeah, don't-
whoever gets called by a medic, fucking listen to him and do what he says.
Exactly. Don't go if you see somebody down, you go to the guy and you go, I need some help.
I need
Nobody's
some
gonna
ammo.
react, or somebody's gonna look back and like, I've got my sector, I'm sitting here. Just call out, okay, Steve-O, come here, help me.
Yeah.
Do it like that.
Do it by name is the best, because people remember their name usually.
Most of the time.
90%.
Once the bullet starts flying, everything goes out the window.
Other than that, I'd say we kind of jump into the cold water and see how it goes.
There is one thing I did want to point out. So if you look at the AI over here that I'm looking at,
Crazy, huh?
give it a second. Let the AI react.
He bandages himself.
Oh,
Bandages
shit.
himself, and that other guy is also a combat medic. So based on his alert level, he's actually going to go and start helping the guy.
Oh, that's pretty neat.
Yeah, that's
Guy
Holy shit.
It's
That's
a
only
moment.
for the enemy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, the
Yeah.
enemy have medics now.
So careful, enemies might raise guys that you shot unconscious, and they might shoot you in the back.
Wait,
Pick it up.
we still can't execute down soldiers now, can we? As
Yes,
in,
you
they
can.
literally won't die. Okay,
It's
never
shoot
mind.
in the
Double
head
tap him.
once
Okay.
more,
Who
then
says you
get-
can't? It's not in the Geneva
No,
Convention.
I'm not
to do
talking
so.
about the Geneva Convention. I'm talking
I'm
about
listening to it
having it enabled
anyways.
on the server.
It is. AIs go down,
Ah, okay, never mind.
unconscious, and you can fucking tap him in the face to be sure he's dead.
The AI,
This is the
I
last
like
time
that.
I say that, because that's not according
Yeah.
to Geneva Convention.
the AIs have the exact same medical settings you guys have, apart from one thing. Insta-death is technically turned on for the AI just to stop bullshit happening. Like you've shot the AI 10 times in the head and he's still not dead and he isn't
Just
wearing
like,
a helmet.
just let me get medic.
Okay? But
if
yeah,
I pop that guy in the face, he will probably be dead. No chance of saving. Yep. He fucking
AI is not
Yep.
stitching.
ragdoll completely. He's not gonna go
It's not
unconscious.
stitching.
whereas
No.
if I was to shoot
That's
one of you in the
something.
head as a player, you wouldn't necessarily die straight away because it will simulate body armor being used on the helmet, depending on
Gotcha.
distance and caliber.
Yeah, I was about to say, is that the entire head or literally just the helmet?
Like, honestly, there's kind of like a chance system built into the medical system now. It's not just one thing will happen.
Ah, okay.
From what we've noticed, RHS seems to be the most stable. It's not perfect so far in terms of body armor values, but it seems to be the most stable. We're going to avoid 3CB like the plague right now because you are basically invulnerable in the chest plate.
Yeah, the 3CB level 4 armor plate, you can basically shoot 30 rounds 5.56 up close into the fucking thing. It's not gonna kill him.
Yeah, I can
Oh.
though. Can you hit 0?
What? Sorry.
Hit
Can
0
you hit
for me?
0 to put your gun back on the on
Oh,
the
yeah.
back?
There you go.
He's level 4 body armor.
Holy.
There
It
we
took
go.
it took about a mag. And see how much it's been done. Well, there's a lot of wounds.
23.
First of all, out of 23 rounds, 14 left a bruise. 6, 7, 8, 9 went through. Out of 20 something rounds, 9 went through the body armor, and the rest just left bruises.
Those who
Calibers.
went through didn't even do much damage.
Yeah, calibers
some
of
point-
weapon really matter now. So if I use a 7.62, you see that they now should be medium or large velocity.
Small
For
velocity
science.
9 times.
Yeah,
Okay, let's get him back up.
not just necessarily bruises.
Someone get on CPR.
He will bleed out. No
Who's
joke.
doing CPR?
Again, though, just at respawn, but
Ah,
The sped up treating animations are ridiculous now as well.
Yeah, that just
Yeah.
looks so
It's a
raw.
bit. I think it's the only way of simulating like smaller wounds being
Well, it
patched
makes-
faster than
it
Oh, you
makes
large.
haven't
sense,
seen
but
the
it
long
looks
ones.
so
They
wonky.
ridiculous in the fucking slow motion.
Cocaine
I
is
know.
now standard issue for medics.
Yeah. Implying it never was.
other than that, we're still trying to learn some of the like weirdness of the medical system as well. So we will be expecting some sort of feedback from you guys if you notice something totally wrong that you think's wrong.
We
Obviously,
found one already.
yeah, don't give us that in mission. Wait until after.
Do we have different types of ammunition? Like
You're on
that-
Whisper Wisdom.
Yeah.
What? Oh, sorry. Does different types of ammunition do different damage / different penetration? I'll go to full
We haven't
Tarkov.
tested that extensively. Like it's not like Tarkov, I don't think, but we've only
Nice.
tested like 5.56, 7.62, that kind of thing.
Different
Okay.
caliber surely does leave a different kind of wound or different
Yeah.
size wound.
You'd
not-
expect,
Not
but
necessarily.
There's not that big of a difference between 8.55 and 8.55A1, which technically is an armor penetrating round.
Used to be. At this point, it's basically useless.
We haven't tested like different quality levels of the same caliber of ammo.
yeah.
I wouldn't expect that to make too much of a difference because there is only so much you can model in the armor engine. That could change though. RHS could implement that as well. So
Get onto him and
before we do go into mission, does anyone have any questions? Anything at all?
What is 4+4?
Fuck me. We
I don't know.
You said
One thing
I-
I am gonna say: don't take risks. If you get like even a minor ArmA bug, the admin menu heal thing is not working right now because Ace has changed some configs.
Oh boy.
So
Jeez, boy.
we can't heal
Nice.
we can't heal you from ArmA bullshit unless we go into Zeus, and we're not gonna go into Zeus for a minor thing.
Steve, we found a small issue while testing. Salines.
Yeah.
Yeah, all the corpses. Sometimes
Yes.
salines just don't work. We put
Yeah.
them in and they just don't appear on the medical menu.
For you, they didn't.
No, like we
No,
put,
this doesn't work. So I gave
Yeah, I
myself
know.
many more.
we put like
it
6 into
disappears
EOS,
sometimes.
stayed at 120 blood pressure.
That might just be because you guys were assigned medic through the Zeus menu. It could just be that simple of a bug that you weren't from the mission start medics.
Got it.
Yeah, we'll see in
we
the
are going
mission.
to
If,
see
so,
it in
if,
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
If it
that's
happens,
something I
so just
forgot to
message
mention
you.
now. While medics still can't stitch themselves, they can give blood themselves.
Oh, that's
Nice.
helpful.
better, yeah.
So you can
Makes
give
sense.
yourself some fluid if you need to.
Helps.
Oh
Walking
yeah,
around.
we don't have
we
the
can, like,
defib
see-
anymore if I saw that correctly. So
You don't.
we,
You don't have what?
defibrillator.
The
No, we
No,
don't need it.
defib is
No.
not here anymore.
Yeah.
That was a
Yes,
completely
rip.
separate mod. The guy who made that mod has left ArmA and will not update it. There are ported versions of new updated ones that people have taken his code and made on the workshop, but we won't be touching them with a barge pole unless they become established and good ratings and stuff.
Right.
Their fees were fun. RIP.
We good to go on, Jan, you think, man?
Yes,
A
that's
minute
it.
of silence for the
Yeah,
defib.
Let's get it going.
Yeah.
Let's see how it goes.
Going to the toilet real quick. Back in 5.
Rip the homie.